What is up, my friends? You're very welcome along to another news roundup video here on Anfield Agenda, where we're going to be giving you the latest on Liverpool's pursuit of Joel ORDONEZ of Club Brugge, or not, according to certain reports. There are going to be mixed reports suggesting we're either really close or we're not that serious. Let's try to figure out which one's right. We'll be talking about Harvey Elliott, and I'll be giving you an update from some of the journalists who've changed their tune on Arne Slot, the style of football at Liverpool, and are finally starting to see what you, I, and many others have over the last few months. That and lots more to come over the next few minutes, but as always, you know the story. I want to know your thoughts, so do let me know in the comment section. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you back here tonight at 8:45 for the late night agenda. Right, let's get stuck into the news. We're going to start off with a report coming out of Ecuador that said Liverpool are close to sealing the signing of Joel ORDONEZ. And you're going to see, as I go through this video, lots of conflicting things. Some saying it's a matter of hours, others saying it's critical hours, and then some saying, well, they do appreciate him, but they're not really that close. So between us, we'll try to figure it all out. Now, I did mention, and I have received a lot of flack on the channel from people who maybe aren't regular viewers that think I've been negative about Arne Slot. I've been complaining about the style of play, and that despite what I've been saying, I've been wrong, and the mainstream media and a lot of the journalists that cover the club have had a far more upbeat tone. Well, that tone has now started to change. Even James Pearce, who 2 weeks ago was saying that Arne Slot has silenced all the doubters, well, he's been posting today to say it hasn't been good enough, and Connor made sure from our account to remind him of what he said a couple of weeks ago. This is what Paul Gorst had to say after yesterday's dour 0-0 draw. It's difficult now, even as the second half of the term gets underway, to define what Liverpool's style is and is meant to be. For all the money spent reshaping a title-winning squad, that has to fall on head coach Arne Slot. Verdict from a goalless draw. Also went on to say in that piece that Arne Slot himself said one of the times to judge the team is halfway through the season, and we're clinging on at the end of 4th place. And they're all finally starting to say what I, you, and many other people in this community have been saying, that Arne Slot's tactics and the way he set us up is at fault for what we're seeing this season. Yes, players are underperforming, but they're underperforming because of the coaching, because of the setup, and because of the lack of a clear implemented plan. So I hope you find this as relieving as I do, because I know at times it can get tough for us on here, particularly for me. I'm called negative, I'm called this, and I'm called that. I want to reiterate, I want Liverpool to succeed. I have no interest in Arne failing, but I will never, ever, ever hold my voice back and not say what I'm seeing. And I don't say it to be edgy. I don't say it to be a contrarian. I say it because I know my football. I know what I'm looking at, and I know what we're seeing from this Liverpool team isn't befitting of the quality of players that are at the club. And I'm glad the tide is now starting to turn. I don't wish any badness on Arne, but I do wish that people would start calling it as they see it and not as the club want them to. So finally that shift is starting to turn. Right, Shelbourne have completed the signing of defender James Norris from Liverpool on a permanent deal. I meant to report this yesterday, but it got lost at everything. He joined Shelbourne's on a season-long loan last season and quickly established himself as a first-team regular, saying, "I'm absolutely delighted to make the move permanent," Norris said on Thursday. And by the way, Shelbourne are my League of Ireland club, so very happy to see a Liverpool player go across. Now, Fabrizio Romano, he's been speaking a little bit about Harvey Elliott and his chances of going over to the MLS. He said Charlotte FC are prepared to offer Harvey Elliott the chance to play on loan in the MLS until June. Elliott likely to return to Liverpool after being unused at Aston Villa on loan. Decision up to the player. Now, we've explained a few times that because Harvey Elliott has played for Liverpool and Villa this season, he would have to go to a league that doesn't have the same calendar as the Premier League and a lot of the leagues in Europe. So the likes of the MLS, the Saudi Pro League, and some others would be an option for Harvey if indeed he chooses it. Chris Williams has said, and another journalist, by the way, changing tune a bit now, "Cold light of day, Liverpool are seemingly as dull now as they were under Roy Hodgson. Passive, lacking any real confidence, and very rigid. 4th place says a lot to me about how drained the players are across the league, bar Arsenal, who look a cut above." And look, fair play to Arsenal. They deserve the credit they're getting this season. They have been the outstanding team in the Premier League and look likely to go on and win that league title. But again, you can see, finally, I'm starting to feel like I'm not going crazy, because I did take time off, and I did say to you guys it was to reflect on Am I being overly negative? Am I doing you a disservice? But ultimately, I came to the conclusion, like I said, I'm confident in my ability to spot flaws in the football team because I know the sport. I've been in around it for 36 years. I love it. I love this team. And I won't be silenced when things aren't good enough. We deserve better. And not that we just deserve better. Let's look at the quality we have and ask, is that really good enough from the types of players that we have at the club? And the answer is simply no. Next up, Sasha Tavolieri has said, at this moment, there has been no contact between Liverpool and Club Brugge regarding Joel ORDONEZ, who does appear on a list of defenders appreciated by the scouting department. Situation to keep an eye on. Arne Slot has been speaking about replacing Aaron Briggs, and he said, I think it will be a surprise to you if I ever talk about players we bring in, that I would start talking to you about names in terms of coaches we could bring in. Of course, we're looking at the situation and what is best for us now, but as long as I have no news about it, I cannot share anything about it. Well, I can share a little something that I'm being made aware of. Arne Slot won't be in the Liverpool job at the end of the season, according to the information that I have to hand. And there, I've come out and said it out loud. I've intimated it for a while, but the information I have is that Arne Slot will not be the Liverpool manager in the summer. Now, there's always the chance of a miracle happening and turning it round on a Champions League victory, but that's the type of miracle it's going to take. Liverpool apparently don't want to bring in somebody as a replacement because they want to have a long-term successor lined up. I don't know whether this has been communicated or not to the manager, but I'm going to stand over that. That is my information. And like I've said before, and I said in the last week, those saying that everything is tickety-boo and happy days behind the scenes and Arne has the full backing, well, you can see now those journalists are starting to change their tune about the style of football under Arne, and then you're going to start seeing this following on a little bit more. But once again, will we ever get the credit for our community? No, we just get labelled as the toxic, angry channel with toxic, angry subscribers. You deserve better, but don't worry, we're going to continue to speak our minds here on your behalf because we know we're not just negative. We know that you guys are honest like we are, and we know that nobody has any interest in wanting Liverpool to fail. We all want Liverpool to succeed, but we're not dumb. We're going to call it as we see it. Anfield Sector said, Arne Slot on being fourth in the league. From open play, from where we are, if you look at Arsenal, look at Manchester City and look at us, I think it's fair we're not above them. That we are many points behind them, there are reasons for that, which I just explained, i.e. fine margins. But it wouldn't have been fair if we were above them for the way we played. Of course it wouldn't, Arne, because we've been dire, mate. Dire. And I can list off 10 reasons as to why we're behind them. And the top one would start with A and end in Arne. So that's exactly why we're not there. Breaking. These are key hours for a deal to bring Joel ORDONEZ to Liverpool, who are ready to put a total package of £43 million on the table for the defender, comprising of £35 million plus £8 million in add-ons. That coming again from an account called @CHOBO Alvarez. So @Chobo Alvarez. Let's wait and see who's right on it, because truly, I don't know what way this one goes, but I do know he's a player that we should be looking at. Arne, speaking on Gomez and Endo's fitness, said, I expect Joe to train with us on Friday and Endo not yet, not again. I think to see, we had 4 players on the bench against Leeds who haven't played any minutes in the Premier League, and these players just keep going with so many games to go. So if anyone was like, why does he take Florian Wirtz off, for example, 2 days after the Wolves game, he felt his hamstring still too much. That's why he couldn't train. He only trained on Wednesday. With all the games coming up, for me, it was too much of a risk. You don't have so many players available with Premier League experience. And of course, Cody is a good replacement to bring in. So I don't disagree with his reasoning for bringing off Wirtz at all. Totally understand that. But what I would say is, there is a reason why the load on some of these players has been so much, and it isn't just injuries. It's a lack of adequate replacements or a lack of adequate competition. This from Paul Joyce. Breaking, Liverpool are planning to open contract talks with Ryan Gravenberch. No formal discussions have taken place so far, but there is a keenness to secure the future of the Netherlands midfielder, who has 2 years remaining on his contract this summer. Also, Paul Joyce, Harvey Elliott will not take up interest from the MLS despite being left in limbo as his Villa career stalls. And lastly, Unai Emery has said, the problem we have with Harvey this year is the loan. In case he's playing matches, we must buy him. We decided 2 months ago we weren't convinced to sign him, spending the money we need. This is the issue. And then we have Jack Lusby, who said, Joel ORDONEZ update. told there is no truth to the claims of Liverpool nearing £35 million deal for Club Brugge centre-back. There's no interest in the Ecuador international, but reports this week have been downplayed emphatically. I don't know what to take from that, because I don't really trust anything that gets briefed out from the club these days to any of the journalists, because it seems like it is look over here while something else is happening over here. So we'll wait and see what happens on this one. I'll be here tonight, 8:45, to take you guys through it all. Any questions that you have, make sure you come and join us. Until then, thank you as always for your support. Really appreciate it. Much love and a Happy New Year once again to you and all of your families. We'll talk soon.